All right, class, welcome back. Our class is English 1301. Let us talk about what's happening here. Once again, class, we have some deadlines coming up March 9th for sections 21416, 21419, and 21437. We're going to have these profile essays turned in. Once again, class, on the 9th, the first draft, a final draft, a writing center verification, 700 to 1,000 words. I explained all that in my last lecture. Class, send them when you send them through Blackboard messages, please. Just mark them as 3 separate items: first draft, final draft, writing center verification. In class, then once again, I'll get in those and I'll start grading those as they're due. My online class, section 20755, your deadline is going to be on the 10th. So the 9th and the 10th, same thing when you turn those in. So I look forward to getting those, class. We still have time. Keep working with those. And what I'm here today, class, to do is to talk about the memoir. I'm going to talk a little bit about how they were graded, what happened with the memoir. I read some good ones, class, combination of grades, A- to F on the memoirs. Been in correspondence with a lot of students, once again, in regards to these. Some students I've asked to make adjustments. If I'm asked to make adjustments, make those adjustments and get it back to me in regards to if they haven't been graded yet. But other than that, class, some very good work. A- to F. Class, if you received a D or an F on this essay, there's work to be done. Okay? So once again, I would spend time in the writing center, working on that work, continuing to work on it, class, on your skills. Another thing is, class, too, there's tutoring at the college. Sometimes what I've noticed in these essays, if it was an essay that was an F essay or say a D or low D, class, go back and look at all my comments that I made, because this will most probably be the most important document you receive in all your college or university career, because I took time to grade these. I took time to do what my professors would do for me. My professors revolutionized my life. Those early days at my community college in Los Angeles, you know, they helped me by, once again, giving me the grades that I deserved, right? And then it was like, oh boy, I got work to do. So I can't do this for you. I can mark the errors and then you go through them and say, hey, why did Mr. Welsh mark this as an incomplete sentence? We're going to talk about in a minute. Can I fix it? Do I know how to fix it? Do I want to fix it? Can I clean my work up? When I was in college, I scrutinized every message that a professor gave me, all right? And if I had deficiencies, I worked to clean those up. So then, once again, work to clean them up so you don't make as many in the future. Occasionally, I have some students, class, I've already had some. I don't judge it, but once again, do not have the skill level to be in English 1301. I don't judge that. But once again, for those students, step back, take a refresher course, learn what a simple sentence is, go back to learning how to just put a simple paragraph together, class. Because you won't pass English 1301 with that set of skill levels, okay? And it happens, but that's all right. So wherever you are, that's where you are, and we go from there, all right? Very good. So class, A to F. And then once again, if you have someone who has this stuff down, show it to them, show it to the writing center. I've had students before that I give them an essay back and they'll come to me and say, hey, Mr. West, I made a lot of stupid mistakes. I see what I did here. I know how to fix it. I see that I made a mistake here. I know how to fix it. I see a mistake here. I know how to fix it. I see a mistake here. I know how to, I see what's going on. And I'll say, that's fine. Let's clean it up for the next essay. Occasionally I have a student class, and this is all right, no idea what anything's on the page. And usually over the years, I talk to a student, work with them, find out what's going on. Why don't you have any idea? And then I'll find out that once again, their skill level isn't there yet. But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe they have to go back and take a beginning English class. That's all right. I'm just here to help. Class. So look over those errors. Now, read over your paper carefully, your essay carefully, class, and find out what are the mistakes. Okay? Class, in your papers, I have editing symbols, and we're going to talk about those. So when I do this online virtual editing, it'll highlight something, and then the margin will say what's going on. And I'll highlight the place where there was an error. I always ask yourself, what is this? What did I do? How can I clean this up? Do I know what happened? Class. Let's talk about the editing symbols. Class, some of the things that you may see occasionally on the outside column of your essay and then pointing inside would be something called WC. WC. And that could be simple, class, a word choice error. A word choice error. Okay? Something like, I saw an essay that said, I know what happened, and know was spelled N-O. So, I'm not going to fail a student for that, but it's my job to point that out. The word should have been K-N-O-W and not N-O. So it wouldn't show up as a spelling error, but it would show up once again when I'm reading it. I-K-N-O-W what happened, not I-N-O what happened. That's all right. Class, on another essay, I saw this sentence that said, class, the sentence was, I told Yolanda if we could go. I told Yolanda if we could go. Now, and I looked at that because I knew what the student was writing about, but there was a word choice error there, class. You can't told Yolanda anything. That would have been all right if it was like in a rap or something, class. But you're not rapping. I mean, when you write an essay, it's a form of rapping, but it's more structured, and you got to make sure that, you know, the grammar is there and the punctuation is there. The sentence structure is there. So the word that the student wanted to use was I asked. I asked Yolanda if we could go. You can't told Yolanda anything. I asked Yolanda if we could go. So I marked that WC. The student look it over and see what's going on. Class. Word choice. Now, on some of these essays in the column, the gutter, the margin of the essay, I may have put W/M, W/M. And that means, class, the sentence is missing a word. And since it doesn't have the word, the sentence falls apart. Let me give you an example. I had in this essay, someone wrote the line, I'm going the toilet, class. I'm going the toilet. And that was a house party essay, a memoir of being at a house party. Someone was knocking on the door of the restroom, late night. The person inside says, I'm going the toilet. You can't go in the toilet, but it should be, I'm going to the toilet. I'm going to the toilet, class. So, another thing, class, when students are or somewhat new to the language, sometimes they're developing what's called their usage with articles, okay? I read an essay last time that said, A student said in the essay, I want apple. I want apple. So if you said that in conversation in the lexicon, or you were in a supermarket and you went up to someone's old school supermarket where the produce man or woman was on the other side and you told them, I want apple, they would know what you want. But when you write that in a essay, there's a word missing. So I put WM. Class, it should be, I want the apple, please. Or I want an apple, please. Or I want the apple, or I want an apple. Without the or the an, the sentence falls apart. So class, this is once again taking the time before you turn in the essay, or when you turn in the essay, make sure you go over every sentence as best as you can. I know, class, you're a work in progress. I'm a work in progress too. I make mistakes too. But over the years, over the decades, I'm like, I'm going to clean it up. Why did I want to clean it up? A, I wanted to graduate from college. B, I wanted the possibilities that college could give me. And C, I wanted to be able to improve my writing. I'm still on that journey today, right with you, class. Still trying. Still hustling. Trying to get it down. I want an apple. I want the apple, not I want apple. Very good, class. Word missing. So that could be a code that I have on your essay and that you can look at. Class, also there could be SP, and that just simply means that there's a spelling error. I didn't see a lot, but I did mark some on some essays. Go back and look if the word is misspelled, class. The word is misspelled. Something like there for there, T-H-E-I-R, when it should be T-H-E-R-E. Like I'm going there. Student had T-H-E-I-R. When it's supposed to be I'm going there, T-H-E-R-E. Class, give yourself permission to continue the journey. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and then work to clean them up. And if I'm going to talk this to you, right? I'm going to talk this to you. I got to internalize these things myself. I'm saying, you know what? If you're going to tell the students that give themselves permission to make mistakes and clean it up, you got to give yourself permission, Mr. Welsh. Yeah, if I'm going to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk. And so sometimes these things will come to me. Do it to yourself too. Otherwise, you'll be a phony. Class. I saw this in a good few essays. It's usually a problem. Let me help you out. Not always a problem, but let me help you out with the rule. And remember this rule for the rest of your life. Basically, in a standard writing, when you're writing essays, class, is this. Pick 1/10 and stay with it. 1/10 and stay with it. So if you're going to write the whole essay in present tense, excuse me, the allergies today. Spring's here. Class is good. I was outside walking today. It's nice. Stay in the present tense. Generally, for most of these essays, a person will be in the past tense since it was a memoir. So keep all your tenses in the past. It's when you switch back and forth, class, that things once again start getting crazy. So I was grading some portfolios, and I've read some good ones on the memoir. And if I have an essay where it's going, and I'll mark it tense, 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 that's going to affect your grade. Because I got to help you with this. I got to point it out. And then it makes the reader crazy. So the general rule is, class, if you're writing in the past tense, keep all your tenses in the past. If you're writing in the present tense, keep it in the present. But when you start switching back and forth, somebody's got to point it out because it drives the reader crazy, right? Just like my professors did for me. I had a tense that I put on a paper, and it was this: I was happy. Was one sentence. I was happy, period. Then the next sentence was, I walk to the park and I see a bird. So that sounds kind of crazy, and the reason it's crazy is I was is past tense. Class, that would mean that someone knew happiness. If we look at the sentence in itself, someone knew happiness. Happiness is gone. Happiness is gone. Or we don't know. Maybe it'll come back. Or maybe it came back later. But I was happy, past tense. Okay? And then the reason it sounds crazy, the next sentence, I walk to the park and I see a bird, that switches to the present tense. And we're like, what? This is crazy. But we could fix that. I was happy, period. I walked, past tense, to the park, comma, and I saw a bird, period. I was happy. I walked to the park and I saw a bird. Keeping everything in past tense. So class, when you're doing your final edits on your essays, for my class and for when you leave me, because you will leave me, hopefully you remember some of these things, I hope. Look at your tenses. See if everything's lining up. See if you're jumping back and forth. I was happy, I walked to the park, I saw a bird. And it's that class being more, once again, conscientious about it. I still make this mistake on occasion. Now, when you leave me and you start doing other forms of creative writing if you want, and you work on your own fictions or essays or whatever, then you'll have the freedom to once again tear up the rules. But in order to, for a standard English class, standard essays in college, you want to follow the rules, right? To let the teacher know that you know how to write. So, word choice, word missing, spelling, tense, class. On your paper, on some things, I may take a couple sentences, highlight them, and put awk. Awk means awkward. So it's your job to look at the sentence and say, why did Mr. Welsh mark this awkward? What's going on here? Sometimes, class, it could be a tense switch with an incomplete sentence, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Sometimes it could be a tense switch with a run-on sentence. Sometimes there could be two tense switches. Look at the whole deal and say, why is this awkward? And see if you can fix it. See if you can fix it. And if you fix it yourself, great. Can't fix it, take it to someone who knows about these things. Take it to the writing center. Class, if you're in one of my hybrid classes, which I have 3 of the 4, you can hit me up after class. I've already stayed after this semester with a bunch of students in the hybrid class. Hey, Mr. Welsh, they tell me, will you look at this? I say, yeah, I look at it. I'm a professor. I'm here to help. What's going on? Well, I'm not quite sure, or I am sure. I made a bunch of stupid mistakes. What can I do, Mr. Welsh? What you can do is, once again, keep working, right? Keep working. If you didn't turn an essay in, a first major portfolio, what will I tell you? Can't make you do anything. Drop the class, right? So we have about 4 major essays this semester because you're setting yourself up for failure, class. Don't set yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success. So I've had students come to me before and they're like, oh, Mr. Welsh, but, you know, I think I can pass. I said, maybe you can. But so far, after the next essay, I got a 0 and an F. Chances are you're not going to pass the class. You're going to fail. So why set yourself up for failure? I tell them, drop the class, take a W, regroup. And then you start thinking, hey, what am I going to do different next time, right? What am I going to do different next time? That's all right. Be good to yourself. I had a student already this semester. I saw him one time. It was last week. He's a nice young man. He said, Mr. Welsh, I haven't done any work in your class. I haven't even been here. What do I need to do? What have I missed? I said, young man, you've missed everything. What should I do? Drop the class. Not going to pass. But I told him, don't beat yourself up. You're a young man. And then he started crying. That's all right. I said, I'm trying to be helpful and supportive. I know what it's like to cry. Don't beat yourself up. Just you'll know next time when you enroll in this class or another class, you'll hit it from day one. You got to hit it from day one, class. He'll be all right. I said, man, you're 18. That's why I wasn't in college at 18. Didn't want to be here, so I wasn't here. So ask yourself if you want to be here. If you want to be here, you be here. He's all right at the end. I found out where he came from. He wasn't from El Paso. I like the guy. Because it's like looking at myself at 18. I liked him. I wasn't here to beat him up. I said, be good to yourself. You've got a long life. English 1301 isn't going to happen this time. It might next. Or I told him, send me your next essay. If you do it, I'll grade it. But you're setting yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success. He'll be all right. Newentown from another state. Class. He's from Detroit. We talked a bit about Michigan. He'll be all right. Don't cry. It's all right. It's been a tough time. We're in this pandemic. Class. Tense. Awkward. Look over your awkward sentences. Figure them out. Past tense. Very good. Past tense, present tense. Class. Now, class, for some of you, go back and once again, when it comes to spacing issues, look over your essays. Once you get it, it's not that hard. But it's hard if you're struggling with it, class. If we look at, say, for example, Betsy's Buffo's interview with an artist that you had to, and look at that. See, that's perfect, class. Look at her, and this is a student essay, but, it come out of a book, but see, look at her indentations, look at her spacing, look at her typeface. It's going to be the same for you. Some students have struggled with that, and that's all right, class. And it's got to look this way. I gave you this handout. Look, see how it's, the correct way should be up in the left-hand corner there, single spacing. Just highlight it and single space it. Then everything else is in double spacing. And it's all right. There's some students, man, give me all sorts of crazy spacing and type fonts and lines being cut. I said, let's fix this. I'm here to help you. I don't want to grade this now. I'm going to take off points for this. I don't want to start taking off points when I don't have to. One person last semester, she said, oh, to hell with you, Mr. Welsh, just graded. I said, you want me to put an F on it? Your lines are all jacked up. Can you fix them? She had them like things centered, things cut off. And I said, I'm here to help. I'm not here to hurt you. Trying to get it to look like this. Take it to the writing center. Take it to the computer lab. Show them this. Most students get it right away. Some don't. It doesn't make any difference, class. It is what it is. You do what you can do. But, a student last semester fighting me, just grade it, Mr. Welsh. I said, you want an F? I'll throw an F on it. But I wanted to start you off with an A. No reason to fight Mr. Welsh. I'm here to help. I'll do anything to help the young woman. Spacing. Go back and look up correct essay format handout. Go over it until you get it. A lot of students have gotten it. Some are struggle a bit. That's all right. I can't judge. I'm just trying to carry a message of hope. Before you turn in your next essay, go over that again. Look at it. Once again. There's the second page. What's it look like? Just let it roll. It's simple once you get it, but it takes a little time to get it. And then when you leave me and you're at Duke, or you're at UTEP, or you're at the University of Texas at Austin, or you're at Texas Tech, or you're at Texas A&M, or at the University of New Mexico, or New Mexico State, or you're at UCLA, or you're at Brown, you're at Harvard, you're at Yale doing graduate work. My students have gone to these places. You'll turn in an essay to a professor who looks like this, and they'll say, now there's a college student knows what they're doing. Class. That's my job. I love the community college. I'm here to help you, like they helped me at my community college, junior college in LA, they called them El Camino, where I went. Place revolutionized my life. I got to help you like my professors helped me. Class. Spacing. So look at your spacing, double space. Once in double, you're in double spacing. We don't need extra spacing after the paragraphs. Class, let's talk about the next thing. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. Your next essay, the profile, I talked about this in class, there's going to be a lot of quotation marks in there. Make sure you use them correctly. Look at A Surgeon's War on Breast Cancer. Look at Betsy Buffo's Interview with an Artist. Go to your writer's reference book. Look at punctuation with using quotation marks. Depends how you set it up. Always remember this, in America, comma, inside the quotation marks. Period, inside the quotation marks. In Mexico, outside. England, outside. Netherlands, outside. Germany, outside. America, United States of America, inside. Take your time. Look at the way you're using quotes. I had a student last semester that all of their quote marks were floating. They're like out in space. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do this to this student. I had to mark every one of them. Class. Floating quotation marks that are lost. Bring them in. Bring them in right next to the letter. Class, what's an incomplete sentence? I may have on some of your essays, I do. Ink sent. Ink sent. An incomplete sentence, class, is a sentence lacking something. Okay? Sentences need two things, and that's it. Real simple, a noun and a verb. Subject, predicate. They used to say in the old days. Is this a sentence? I'm happy, period. Yes. Maurice is sad, period. Janie is going to the liquor store, period. Javier is hungry, period. Juliana has a nice house, period. Noun, verb, subject, predicate. An incomplete sentence is a fragment. If I marked it incomplete sentence, look at it, study it, say, what's going on here? Why did Mr. Welsh mark these incomplete sentences? What do I need to do? Make it a complete sentence. Fix it. Fix it. Last house on the block. Community college is the last house on the block. It was for me. And what do I mean by the last house on the block? Either I get it here and now, and I clean it up, or chances are I'm never going to clean it up. So why not clean it up here? Especially if you want to go on in college, you know. I had a student I talked to yesterday I like a lot. A young man went to a school in the Lower Valley. There's only two down there in El Paso. He said, Mr. Welsh, you're helping me. I said, I'm trying. And he said, I know that if I don't take care of it here, some other professor's going to bust me down along the way. And I said, yeah, and he's a good writer. He's got some skills. I'm just trying to clean him up, brush him up. He's got some skills, but he needs some work. So I'm here to help him with that. Class, next thing is a run-on sentence. And those are common, or they were in this batch of essays. Run on, 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 run on F. Class, run-on sentences are a grave error. I'm here to help you. Every run-on sentence that I marked on your paper, if I did, some people didn't have them, some folks did. Look at it. A run-on sentence is a sentence that's out of control. Class, it has lost its mind, that run-on sentence has. Let me give you an example. I saw this in a paper, and this was all together. Jason asked if he kissed me. I said yes. Jason asked if he could kiss me. I said yes. I was thinking to myself, she should have said no. I don't know, class. It's fine. It was just joking with you. Class. And so it's kind of like the students running things together. So it should have been, Jason asked if he could kiss me, period. I said yes, period. That's a run-on sentence. Jason asked if he could kiss me. I said yes. Even if it had Jason asked if he could kiss me, and I said yes. Run-on sentence. Jason asked if he could kiss me, period. I said yes, period. Or Jason asked if he could kiss me, semicolon. I said yes, period. But might as well just use the period rather than the semicolon there. However, you can do anything you want as long as it doesn't break the rules. So look at those. If I mark a run-on sentence, I had some students tell me also this week, hey, Mr. Welsh, no one ever graded an essay like this for me this carefully in high school. I said, I don't know about that, but I'm here to help you. Look at it. A lot of times, Mr. Welsh said, just put A's on my paper and give them back. I said, I can't do that. You may be able to find an English professor who does that. If you can, go take them. I've told Susan, you won't have to deal with Mr. Welsh. But I'm going to grade your papers. I'm going to mark every error on your paper to help you. Otherwise, what would I be making money for? Not helping my students? Run-on sentence. Ask you, say, hey, Mr. Welsh, mark this a run-on. What's going on here? Why is it running on? Where was the period going? Where should I stop this runaway train? Class. Look at it. Find it. Find where you can drop those periods. And then class, once again, it just comes from reading. Read as much as you can in the language. And it comes from writing. Keep engaging. Don't beat yourself up, right? Be good to yourself. You need to learn. I need to learn. You take a couple knocks on an essay. Think of it as, hey, Mr. Welsh is here to help me. I got to clean it up. And then once again, take your time. Some students, it's not going to happen now. Skill level isn't there. Go back. Keep engaging the language, right? It's like I talked to you before. If I want to get better with Spanish, I got to hit it. Here, I just had here, it's under this computer. I got the collected poems of Federico Garcia Lorca. I got to hit it. I got to look. I got to read Spanish. I got to listen to Spanish. I got to listen to the Spanish language radio stations like La Rancherita and El Poderoso. And now, is it La Ranchera? Anyway, some of those AM stations, I listen to those, Orbita, out of Juarez, I listen to that, so I can get better. Este mucho trabajar en español, este profesor. I need some work. I had a student a while back write me a message, say, hey, Mr. Welsh, I've been watching your videos and your Spanish is good. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know if she was jacking with me, but she seemed sincere. And I said, well, I'm trying. I don't want to beat myself up. I can listen to it a bit. I can understand it a bit. But boy, most of my students' Spanish is a million times better than mine. I like hearing them speaking in class sometimes. I'll say, ¿cómo se en español this word? ¿Cómo se quis en español? Como se laca en español? Como se, you know, and then they'll talk in beautiful pronunciation class. I get a little jealous. I says, all right, but you're not a Spanish professor. No, profesor de español, profesor de inglés. That's why I'm a professor of English. Love the language, right? Give yourself time to keep working it, engage in it. As I do with Spanish, as I do with English too. I have to, every day I'm a estudiante, a student in English. I'm a student too. I'm just like you, I'm still working, I'm still trying to come up. No perfecto de inglés. No. I gotta work, class. I gotta work in English, I gotta work in Spanish. So if I can work, you can work, class. Run on sentences, clean them up. Now, long prepositional phrases, class, offset them with a comma. As a cheerleader during the junior and senior football years at Bel Air High School, I fell in love with a football player, right? As a senior, let's go back, period. They need a comma. So long prepositional phrases. Cheerleader at Bel Air High School, comma, I was loving football players. If you fall in love too early in life, you better be careful, period. Love is a great thing. It's just a sentence I saw in an essay. If you fall in love too early in life, comma, you better be careful. Class, exclamation points. Let's talk about those. I had this great editor when I had my first job as a newspaper reporter in Los Angeles. Let's just say my first and only job as a newspaper reporter in Los Angeles. I lasted there about 5 years total as a cub reporter and intern, and then they hired me full time. I had some great editors there, man. Great editors. One of the main editor there that edited a lot of my copy won the Pulitzer Prize in 2015 at the Daily Breeze newspaper in the South Bay of Los Angeles County that I worked for. He won the Pulitzer for editing. His name was Frank Sarasi. He's still alive. He's still working in that newspaper group. Class, I only say this because that man changed my life. He changed my life, and it was decades later that he won the Pulitzer. And he used to edit my copy, right? How great fun. And there was another guy there, an assistant city editor, who had gone to Pepperdine. His name was Tony Tranfa. He changed my life too. God rest his soul. He's gone now as we're into Lent. But one time he pulled me aside and he said, Larry, man, you got a couple of exclamation points in this story. You don't need them. I said, okay, tell me. And then another time he pulled me aside and he said, Larry, man, you're a pretty darn good reporter and writer. There's a couple things now. He said, you know what, Larry, look at these 3 sentences. We were on deadline and I got up there next to him because we're on deadline for a story and I was new at the paper. And he said, don't you think you need a comma here? I said, oh, Tony, I do. And I had some run-on sentences where he'd say, Larry, come here, man. What the hell's wrong with the period? And so I said, I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to do my best. And Tony would back up and he said, you know, you're doing good, Wells. You're doing good. You're not perfect, no perfecto in the newspaper game, but, you know, keep working on it, keep working. I was 24 years old at the time. Class, here's the thing. You can get by the rest of your life without using an exclamation point. If you do, use them very sparingly because periods carry the exclamation themselves. I didn't see it so much this time, but last semester I had students, I was happy, exclamation point. We went to the store, exclamation point. He kissed me, exclamation point. I was so sad, exclamation points. No, you don't need those. Let the words carry their own exclamation and use a period for most of the time. Class, so Perhaps there's no friend. I think that's it. All right, I think that's it. So I hope this helped. And class, keep going. Go over those essays, and that's how I'm going to grade for the rest of the semester. And then I grade once again in things like, as you know, content, writing, sentence structure, once again, punctuation, grammar, all the things that an English professor does, and you've seen that already. So class, once again, good luck. Let's make those deadlines that are coming up. You still have a good few days on those, class. I look forward to reading those when they come in, and we'll keep taking this semester one day at a time. And class, it's another bit of a challenging time in world events. Keep the people of Ukraine and over there in Europe in your thoughts and prayers. If you do that, if you don't have to do anything. But I'm hoping. The other night I saw the president speak, and I do believe in hope. I do believe that things are feeling a bit better. I do believe that spring is in the air. I'm hopeful for America. I'm hopeful for the future. And more than anything, I'm hopeful for you, my students. Stay strong, stay in the game, keep working. Know that I want the very best for you, class, the very best. I want you to actualize your dreams and goals, class. With that said, all right, I'll see you next time, and have a great afternoon. Good luck, good luck, good luck, as the Irish always say. Take care, class.